Hey everyone, my name is Adam Nitti, and I'm excited to share my latest project with you all for honors consideration. This project is titled the Guitar Organizer, and this is a server scope project, so the front end has not been completed, but I wanted to create a totally new project for the back end course so that I could have a variety of things for a potential employer to see. I'm trying to be as well-rounded as I can and create different projects that cover different scopes. The Guitar Organizer is an app that helps you organize and maintain your guitar or bass guitar collection. And this is what the main page looks like. This is a little mock-up I put together of it. And if you click on Add New, that opens up a modal that allows you to enter a new guitar into your collection. And so here are the details for that: brand, model, year, serial number, and description. And so adding that will add that to the scrollable list here. And then if you click on any of the guitars that have already been added to the collection, that's going to take you to a details page, which tracks all of your maintenance history, as well as the details regarding the manufacturer of the guitar, any notes that you want to add. And if you click on Add Entry, this will open up a modal that will allow you to add new items to the maintenance history and update that accordingly. So it's a pretty simple application as far as the concept goes. So as I stated before, the focus here was on the back end. So that's where I spent almost all of my time. And I took care to try and incorporate as many of the things I could that we had learned throughout the back-end coursework. And so this all, of course, started with learning about RESTful APIs, learning how to use Express, and getting familiar with the concept of routing. And so this is my main router document. This is the guitar router document, and this is where all the get, post, put, delete calls are made. I've got all these endpoints here that correspond to the different levels within the app. So there's the guitar collection itself, which can be added to or deleted or modified. There's the actual individual guitars that have their own details and maintenance history related to them. Those have their own endpoints and their own scope for modifying, adding, and deleting. And then getting down into the specifics of the maintenance items, which I turned into a history endpoint here, being able to add, delete, modify those things as well. And so those were the main bits and pieces that comprised the router, and took a good bit of time for me to kind of get my head around and make sure that I was planning the app out effectively. So I faced many challenges when I was trying to put all of this together, and in spite of the fact that the app is very simple and very straightforward, the things that I did have still required some sensible preparation. And the first of those was the guitar router, which is, of course, the main router of the application, and figuring out all of these endpoints. And I had to put down on paper, basically, first, what it was I was trying to stack in terms of information, because there were very particular things that needed to be associated with each guitar, and I needed to make sure that it was very organized and was conducive to the front-end design for the application. So that took a little bit of time and took some organizational planning. So that was one thing. Another thing was dealing with images, because I wanted to be able to have images uploaded that were pictures taken of the guitars, for example, or pictures taken of receipts or things that were going to be a part of the guitar's maintenance history. And so I had to do a little bit of research and figured out how to build this upload router, and I utilized the Malter tool and the related upload functions to be able to connect the back end to a front end to allow it to save images locally that would be related to the application. So that took some time, and I had to do some reading. Of course, our coursework was very helpful with that as well, but that was another challenge that I faced. Another thing that I had to deal with was the authentication processes, and particularly dealing with the different strategies. And I had three main strategies that I was employing. One was the local strategy, another one was JSON Web Token strategy, and the other was Facebook token strategy. That was more complicated than I expected, and I had to definitely get some help from documentation and from our classroom review in order to figure out how to put those together and make them all work seamlessly together. But in the end, it all came together, and I was ecstatic when I started to test it and I could see that these things were actually working. So the back end is based around the use of MongoDB, and the database is what houses all of the information that is related to the guitars and the guitar history and all of that. And so what I'm demonstrating here is just how I've made a get call here for the master collection, and this is the guitar list here. So you see some of the guitars here have a maintenance history attached to them, and some of them don't have that yet. These are just showing empty arrays, and as I demonstrated before, you can add these items and it'll maintain all of these things. One of the things that I got to use and play around with a lot was Mongoose and the use of schemas for both the guitars as well as the guitar history, the maintenance histories, and I treated those as a little sub-schema, which you can see here. So that was kind of cool, being able to put that into action and essentially use arrays within arrays, and that was a fantastic learning experience for me. I also utilized a schema for users, and the users are part of the app as well. It's what allows me to have verification and authorization and associate collections with individual users. So within the actual code, one of my models here is for the user, and so this is my user schema, which utilizes Passport, and it was awesome learning about Passport and how it could take over and do the heavy lifting for authorization. I also added OAuth as well, and specifically with Facebook token strategy. So my app also, as of right now, has the ability to allow you to log in with Facebook as well. The website, as you can see, also utilizes HTTPS. And also too, as that relates to user registration and login and learning about things related to user accounts, tokens, and how those actually get used to allow access to particular functions within the application through the use of bearer tokens. All in all, the entire back-end course was a fantastic map for me to kind of follow step by step and incorporate into my back-end project. So there you go, there's the Guitarganizer. I hope you've enjoyed going through this little tour with me, and thank you so much for your consideration.